Alright, let's dive into today's story. Imagine the world in the early 1920s. Aviation was still in its infancy, yet the race for speed and innovation was already heating up. The aviation industry was undergoing rapid development, with engineers pushing the limits of aerodynamics, propulsion, and materials. Among the most prestigious aviation competitions of the time was the Schneider Trophy, a race designed to push the boundaries of seaplane technology. Today, we're traveling back to 1922, a pivotal moment in this high-speed rivalry where national pride, cutting-edge engineering, and daring pilots all converged over the waters of Naples, Italy. The Schneider Cup, officially known as the Coupe d'Aviation Maritime Jacques Schneider, was introduced in 1913 by French aviation enthusiast Jacques Schneider. His goal? To advance seaplane design and promote international cooperation in aviation. But as the years went on, the race became much more than just a technical challenge. It became a battle of national prestige, an international spectacle where the world's best engineers and pilots faced off in a high-speed duel over water. France won the first race, followed by Great Britain in 1914. After World War I, Italy emerged victorious in 1920 and 1921, displaying its dominance in seaplane engineering. These early years of competition were marked by rapid advancements, with aircraft evolving from relatively slow, unstable machines to streamlined, powerful racers capable of breathtaking speeds. But in 1922, Britain was ready to challenge once again, setting the stage for one of the most significant races in the competition's history. Before we go any further, let's read the article, The Schneider Trophy Challenge, from the July 19, 1922 issue of the Aeroplane magazine. This year's race for the trophy, presented by M. Jacques Schneider of the famous gun-making firm, will be flown at Naples on August 12th. It is open to flying boats and float seaplanes of any nationality. The conditions for this race are different from any other competition, as in addition to fastest time over the course, a distance of roughly 200 nautical miles, the machines have to be tested for seaworthiness and have to ride at anchor on the water for 6 hours without attention. The race was instituted in 1913 when France secured the trophy at Monaco, and in 1914 Mr. Howard Pixton on a Sopwith seaplane won the cup for Great Britain. Over the last 2 years, there has been no challenge from Great Britain, and Italy has won it on each occasion, but this year, Britain is sending a challenger. With commendable courage and enterprise, two firms have made it possible for Great Britain to be represented in this international race. The Supermarine Aviation Company Limited have constructed this special machine, and Messrs. Napier and Son Limited are supplying one of the world-renowned 450 horsepower Napier Aero engines for it. The designing and building of this machine has been carried out with the greatest secrecy. It was first conceived as early as June 1921, and since that date, special work has been carried out on the machine. Only 2 people were aware of the real reason for the construction of this flying boat. To give some idea to the extent to which secrecy was maintained, it may be stated that although the machine was designed to take a Napier engine, a 160 horsepower Biard engine was fitted to it to enable it to carry out its preliminary trials, so as not to give any indication that it was a racing machine. It is a very small type flying boat, the span being only 28 feet, and the length overall 25 feet. It has a petrol capacity of 65 gallons, and although it is specially built for racing, it has all the characteristics and strength of a seagoing flying boat, and is capable of going out in all weathers. An idea of the compactness of this machine is conveyed when one realizes that the Napier engine with which it is fitted is the lightest engine for horsepower developed of any water-cooled engine in the world. Yet the design is such that it is practically a driving engine, the machine being built around the motive power. The machine will be piloted by Mr. H.C. Biard, the Supermarine head pilot, who has probably had more experience with flying boats than any other pilot. He took his RAEC certificate in 1911, the number of his ticket being 218, and was employed as an instructor at the Eastbourne Aviation Company at Hendron for years before the war. Mr. Biard served with the RNAS and RAF before joining the Supermarine firm. All honor is due to the Supermarine Aviation Company and D. Napier and Son for their patriotic and sporting spirit in making it possible for Great Britain not only to take her place with other countries in an international air event, but in upholding our marine traditions in this, the only international aeromarine contest in Europe. August 12th, 1922, the picturesque Bay of Naples was chosen as the battlefield for this high-stakes competition. The The azure waters shimmered under the Mediterranean sun, reflecting the excitement and anticipation of the spectators who had gathered to witness the spectacle. Crowds lined the shores, cheering for their respective teams, as engineers and mechanics made last-minute adjustments to their finely tuned flying machines. The rules of the race were strict. Competitors had to fly a roughly 200 nautical mile course, weaving through a challenging series of turns designed to test both the aircraft's maneuverability and the pilot's skill. Additionally, all competing aircraft had to prove their seaworthiness by remaining afloat for 6 hours without assistance, an element that ensured these planes weren't just built for speed, but also for endurance. With national pride on the line, tensions ran high among the teams, each determined to etch their names into aviation history. 4 seaplanes lined up for the challenge. Representing Great Britain was the Supermarine Sea Lion II, an engineering marvel piloted by the seasoned aviator Henry C. Biard. The Sea Lion II was a state-of-the-art racing seaplane built specifically to win back the Schneider Trophy. It was powered by a formidable 450 horsepower Napier Lion engine, giving it an unparalleled power-to-weight ratio. Italy, the reigning champion, fielded 3 entries, 2 Macchi floatplanes, and the SI-AI S-51, flown by some of the nation's best aviators. The Italian planes, while fast and well-crafted, were iterations of previous models, slightly modified to squeeze out better performance. France had initially entered the competition, but withdrew before the race, leaving Britain and Italy to battle for supremacy. Who do you think had the advantage? The British, with their innovative design, or the Italians, with their past victories? The engines roared to life, and one by one, the seaplanes took to the skies, their propellers slicing through the air with a deafening hum. The Italian aircraft, while fast, were up against a formidable opponent in the form of the British Supermarine Sea Lion II. This was no ordinary race. It was a demonstration of engineering mastery and sheer piloting skill. As the plane sped over the bay, threading through the complex course, Biard's experience and the Sea Lion II's superior engineering became evident. The aircraft handled the turns with precision, its streamlined fuselage cutting through the air with minimal resistance. The Napier Lion engine, a true technological marvel, delivered consistent power, allowing the Sea Lion II to maintain a commanding lead. Meanwhile, the Italian pilots pushed their machines to the limit, but their planes, although fast, couldn't quite match the nimbleness and effectiveness of the British contender. The intensity of the competition grew with every lap. The crowd gasped as one of the Italian planes struggled with an engine issue, momentarily losing altitude before recovering. Another Italian contender attempted to close the gap, but the Sea Lion II had already built a decisive lead. As the checkered flag waved, Henry Biard and the Supermarine team secured a decisive victory, reclaiming the Schneider Trophy for Britain after years of Italian dominance. It was a moment of triumph for British aviation, proving that cutting-edge design and meticulous preparation were the keys to winning. The British had not only won the race, but had done so with a remarkable average speed of 145.72 miles per hour, an incredible feat for the time. If you were designing a race plane in the 1920s, what feature would you prioritize? Speed, maneuverability, or durability? The 1922 Schneider Cup race was more than just a victory. It was a turning point. It marked the rise of Supermarine as a powerhouse in aviation design, setting the stage for future British dominance in the competition. Over the next decade, the Schneider Trophy races would evolve into a contest of pure speed, leading to the development of some of the most legendary aircraft in history. The technological advancements pioneered in these races, particularly the streamlined fuselage and high-performance liquid-cooled engines, would later influence the design of World War II fighters. In fact, the lessons learned from these competitions directly contributed to the creation of the Supermarine Spitfire, one of the most iconic aircraft of the war.